Scott was fortunate. He had been properly trained. He knew how to best survive a tip-over situation. First of all, Scott was wearing a seatbelt. When the lift truck tipped, he stayed inside the operator compartment, his best chance for survival. He braced his feet and held on tight to the steering wheel with both hands while leaning in the opposite direction of the fall. Scott was able to escape with minor injuries. Never attempt to jump out of your lift truck if you encounter a tip-over. Had Scott tried to jump clear of the truck, the overhead guard would have struck him, crushing him to death. When a lift truck is in motion, the dynamic forces such as lifting, tilting, turning, and stopping can cause the combined center of gravity to move outside the stability triangle, causing the lift truck to tip over. Use slow and gentle maneuvers when operating a lift truck. This will keep the combined center of gravity inside the stability triangle and all of your wheels on the ground. Keep your balance. Your life depends on it. Keeping your balance. You have to do it even when you're playing. This mother must think about load distribution and center of gravity just to keep this teeter-totter moving. A lift truck works much like a teeter-totter. The heavy counterweight on the back keeps the rear wheels on the ground. As you can see from this diagram, the front wheels act as a fulcrum between the counterweight and the load, just like the pivot point of a teeter-totter. It's the same principle of leverage that allows a young child to lift her mother. Now, let's look at loads. Every object has a center of gravity. These three loads are all the same weight, but because of their different shape, they have a different center of gravity or balance point. When a lift truck picks up a load, the center of gravity of the truck and the center of gravity of the load will produce the combined center of gravity. The combined center of gravity will move in the same direction that the load moves. Now, by law, every lift truck must have a capacity plate or name plate. This shows the maximum weight it is allowed to lift. This truck can lift 5,000 pounds based on the load having a 24-inch load center. The load center is the distance from the face of the forks to the center of gravity of the load. In this example, this 5,000-pound truck with a 24-inch load center will attempt to lift this 5,000-pound load. However, because of the unusual shape of the load, the center of gravity of the load is 30 inches from the face of the forks. Notice how the rear wheels lift off the ground when the capacity of the truck is exceeded. Now, if the truck lifts the load from the opposite side, the center of gravity of the load is only 18 inches from the face of the forks. This load can now be safely lifted. The capacity plate or name plate will also show the maximum lifting height. The higher the lift, the lower the capacity. Attachments such as this carton clamp actually reduce the capacity in two ways. First, the carton clamp moves the load away from the operator, reducing load capacity. Secondly, the weight of the clamp will further reduce load capacity. This 4,000-pound truck will now be rated or limited to lifting a load of 2,500 pounds or less. If a new mast is installed that changes the maximum lifting height, or if an attachment is changed or installed, a new capacity plate or name plate must be requested and installed.